Why don't you tell everybody about Fantasy Fishing?
Fantasy Fishin is a relatively simple to learn board game, mostly composed of cards, where you take on a role of a character in like a fantasy world, but you're not interested in the typical fantasy roleplay. You're just ignoring all that to go fishing and catching all kinds of weird and wacky stuff. Players will have a little angler token that represents them, and you deal out 16 cards in like a grid pattern. And at the end of each of the rows and columns, that's like the lake that your character would go on. And on each turn, your character is just picking an action. One of those actions could be moving to different lakes, using different tools. And so basically all you're doing is trying to pick the lake that's going to give you the best odds of giving you the fish that you want. And it kind of doubles as like a set collection game where you can catch all kinds of things that you would in a fantasy game. So instead of just fish, you're catching things like treasures and legendary fish with fire on their backs and mystical artifacts and rusty swords and that kind of stuff. And you're trying to compile them all together in a set collection way to basically score the most points at the end of the game.